Hello, hello everyone. Mic check. All right, good enough for me. Um, shut up. Adobe keeps warning me that I'm running an older version of Photoshop. Keeps wanting me to update for no good reason. Hello. Alrighty. Today's going to be a bit of a short stream like my Sunday ones have been lately. Um, just a heads up. So it should only be about an hour and a half, maybe, roughly. Hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So unfortunately, not the longest, but yeah. Anyways, I'm working on this painting. I am, uh, like the title says, painting over the gold leaf because um, the gold leaf got a little out of hand, uh, like it does. There are definitely areas where I need to clean up edges and so on. So that's what I'm doing here. Oh, excuse me. I will, however, possibly try out my new zoom in feature for my brushes in just a minute. I need to get my brushes out first in order to do that, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I can do that today. Since most of what I'm doing is kind of detail work. So it's not a perfect system, unfortunately. Well, no system is, but yeah, I um I tried to build a simple like script thing to um let my camera kind of track my brushes. Oh, my allergies are killing me. I'm gonna put out some black now because I know I'm gonna need a little more of it. All right, now take these off real quick. 1 minute. Okay, so what I did here, 1 second, I'll bring it out so you can see it. So I have here these different color stripes. Um, it's just I painted tape with fluorescent colors, uh, and the tracker tracks colors because it's a simple thing. I do not have it in me to I do not have it in me to make something that like is really complicated and tracks an actual brush or something. So it tracks just the colors. Um, so what I did was I made these. I painted tape with acrylics, and 1 second, let's see if I can actually get this off here. There we go. Yep. All right. Oh, take this, put one over here, and sorry, I know I'm doing this off camera, but I need more than one hand if I were to hold this. I'm just using what's it called floor to hold it for me. All right, there we go. So now I have two stripes. Now tell it to track these colors. I'm going to do the same with this one. This one I tried with this green earlier, but I'm going to try with this new one. If I can find the edge of the tape. Here. All right. I bought these little like notebook, like special tape, like highlighter tape, um, for like, classwork and stuff. But I don't think it was as bright as I wanted it to be. So, so yeah. So I think the neon acrylic paint works better. All right. Up a little. 1 second. Messed up on the tape here. Put a little more. Hopefully I can reuse this tape or something because constantly painting this and like reapplying isn't a sustainable thing, but whatever. For now. So two identical-ish. All right. So now and it's put second, I think I need to redo that. Okay. No. Second. Okay, maybe this will be better. Uh, oh, come on. It's not working at all this time. Damn it. I don't understand. This is not even close in color to that. Do I have to use the blue? I have blue here too. I guess I'll try the green. This doesn't work. I'm just going to get the painting because I don't care enough. Not that I don't care. It's that, I mean, the painting's more important. All right. No, I cannot reach the cup. This is harder than I thought it would be. Come on. Okay, that's better. How is it not sensing this now? All right. Too dull. The colors are too dull, apparently. Why? Okay, it's not working. Damn it. Why does it work when I try it on with not on stream, but now it's not working? That's really disappointing. What if I do this? Will this work? It, why is it zooming in on my finger? Why is it tracking my fingers? I don't have green on my fingers. I give up. It's not working. I tried this not on stream and it worked. I'm so disappointed. Oh well. I really thought it would work. Sorry. All right. Well, let's get to the painting. All right. Man, I can't tell you how bummed I am about that because I didn't try with this tape. I tried with the other stuff, but this is brighter. than the other stuff. I don't understand how this wouldn't work, but the other stuff worked better. I don't know. 'Cause, yeah, the difference is quite drastic. Oh well. Oh well. What can you do? I'll try and perfect it some other way or some other time. All right. Camera. I don't know why you're having such a hard time tracking me today. My other camera, but come on, get with it. All right. All right. So the goal here today is I'm trying to do is recover some of the painting where it's um where the like gold leaf has become too a little too much. So um I don't mind some of it. Like I'm gonna probably keep a lot of this where it's like off the edges here. But like over here I don't want it as thick as it is. So I'm going in and painting that back. Um yeah. And I have photo reference from my previous you know um I have photo reference from when I previous my previous state before I put the gold leaf on to help me see like what needs to be adjusted and so on. Thing about the gold leaf is you can paint over it, but it definitely you definitely need to put the paint on a little thicker. Um, which isn't a bad thing. It's just if you want to cover it, it has to go on a little thicker. And trying to blend the previous paint with the current paint so it doesn't look like I painted over but looks seamless. And I will say there is a little bit of kind of, I want to say fear, but there is once you cover the gold, you can't really recover it. Like you can't wipe off of it. I'd have to wait for it to dry and then put new gold down kind of thing. So, gotta be careful. This brush is thinner. The hairs are thinner, and so it's tighter and more precise. However, it is a softer brush, and because of that, it's not as good as at covering because it doesn't hold as much, it doesn't pick up as much paint, so it doesn't go on as thick and so on. So it's kind of a catch 22. like it's better, but worse. This is why I wanted the Zoom though, because like I don't think you guys can really see a lot of what I'm doing right now. I mean, you kind of see the accumulated effect as it happens, but not like each stroke as it's happening, unfortunately. Actually gonna use my stool today because I need to get lower so I can see what's happening over here. There's an element of this that's kind of like what's it called? Um when they do repairs and they paint back the image, um, you know, restoration, but it's like they're actually painting back some of it, not just removing and cleaning. Hey, Style M for art looks great. Thank you. Appreciate that. How are you doing today? I was trying to get my Zoom, uh, like I have a thing where it like will zoom into like tracking the colors on my, um, I put these little bands of color on my brush and it's supposed to track that and then zoom in. Trying to get that to work at the beginning of this stream, but it was not working, even though I tried it out not on stream and it worked fine. So apologize. I was really trying to get that set up so that people could see better, but oh well. Doing good, chilling on Sunday, preparing palette to do some painting myself. How are you? I'm doing good. Um, I am. My Sunday streams are short streams, so I'm only going to be live for like an hour, unfortunately, an hour and 15 or something. But yeah, I'm doing good. Um, what are you working on? You said you're getting your palette ready. Are you working on anything in particular? I have this cropped figure I started earlier this week, making some adjustments to color and learning how to paint form. Cool. What medium are you working in? I probably asked you this previous stream or something, but I apologize. I forgot. The idea here, the cracks are supposed to be around here, so all the cracks down here are supposed to be less, smaller and so on. I really have to go in here and like reduce these ones. You're limiting yourself to the Zorn palette, learning and regretting it a bit, but it's simple enough. Four colors. Zorn's great. Zorn palette. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a limited palette, and you definitely cannot do everything with the Zorn palette. Don't don't make the mistake thinking you can. It's a very good palette for a lot of things, but even Zorn didn't use exclusively the quote, Zorn palette. However, it's a great palette for a lot of things and for studying for sure. Um, but yeah, just don't make the mistake of thinking like, you can paint everything with it. Otherwise, it's a fantastic palette. But I mean, why are you regretting it? I guess, I know you're joking a bit, but like just curious. I know why I didn't like the Zorn palette. I had issues with it, but I'm curious what your issues are. Yeah, I I will say part of the issue for me though was I did things a little out of order, and I had not heard of the Zorn palette until later on. and by the time I heard about the Zorn palette, I'd done I'd done so much, and I'd done so many different, like, weird, um, art, color, palettes and tests and different things that the Zorn palette really didn't like, it was just an exercise, it didn't really have the meaning that, like, I think or the usefulness that I think it does for new painters, um, but yeah. Uh, Dial M for artists. I'm still learning how to do the whole cool warm contrast and how to apply it to round up shapes. I think with two of each, yellow and red, it would be easier. Like having warm yellow and a cool yellow on the palette instead of just ochre. I see what you're saying. Um, I mean, I get what you're saying. However, the whole like, oh, you have a cool blue and a warm blue. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can have a warm blue compared to other blues, but usually, blue's still cool compared to red, right? Um, so to most reds, I'd say. So, I mean, you can play off those things, and I have, but um, I think you have to look at the whole painting overall, you know? Don't get me wrong, I do think that that palette has limitations. Camera, come on. I moved you so you'd have an easier time, not a harder time. Alright. Um, I was missing the cools. That was I really had a hard time not having any of the cool colors, but that part of the reason I had an issue with that is because I tend to lean more into the cool colors a little bit, um, just overall, like, um, so I get that. Um, like I said, you really have to like, it works really well on certain things and really falls apart for other things. You really have to work on something that is mostly warm colors and has a little bit of, like and has gray for cool, you know? That's, like, the big limitation of the palette, unfortunately. That's just the way the way it is. If you work in that within those limitations, you'll find it a lot easier. I have a painting, I did a painting of, what's his name? And, Andrew Kadima? Yeah, Andrew Kadima, and, it was real easy because there was, like it was you know, just a portrait, and it made it very easy, but other things, um, are definitely more challenging. So, yeah, that's the limitation of the palette, um, and the difficulty is both like, how can I put this? It the limitation, of course, is the point of the palette and it makes it easy, but, also difficult, and the difficulties are also something that, teach you kinda thing, but yeah, it can be frustrating. Having said that, I don't use a split palette, so, like, a warm and a cool yellow and all that, I don't do that, so I don't know, um, I don't necessarily find like, I think I kinda had that for a while, not, like, explicitly, but I had that sort of for a while, and I just ended up not using some of the paints a lot, so I just took them off my palette. Like, I used to have a, warm red on my palette, um, and I took it off my palette because I wasn't using it. I used to have I used to use, uh, ultramarine blue, but I took that off my palette because I wasn't using it, so now I just use, um, a slightly modified CMYK palette basically for 90% of my paintings. Sometimes I will throw in other colors, um, if when I need to, because the palette, no palette's perfect and it can't hit everything, but 90%, I feel like it gets 90% of what I need, if not more. So I just stick to it. Although I say that I did change my yellow recently, but I don't know if I'll go back. We'll see. I switched from my bismuth yellow, although I'm using it right now, but I switched from my bismuth yellow to a different yellow, to nickel yellow, but otherwise pretty much the same. The only reason I switched was one, I wanted to see if I was missing something, and I don't really think I am. Uh, Missing something, I mean range, not like, oh, this pigment's fantastic. I don't really think I'm missing range, but um, it is kind of a convenient color, and it's definitely cheaper. I don't know if it's actually more cost effective because of how transparent it is, but it is cheaper and it's probably all you need for 80% of the time compared to bismuth. But yeah, Kadima is great. Love seeing his two color painting experiments. Yeah, I've done some painting experiments kind of similar, not exactly the same, but some inspired by him, some unrelated. But um, I've done like the paintings where you're trying to do a single value, but you know, different colors, but a single value. So if you turn it black and white, it goes gray. I didn't I didn't get it perfect, of course, because that's very difficult to get it 100% perfect. But I think I got pretty close. Um, but yeah, those were very challenging, very fun, and those I did. This is what I was trying to say earlier, but got sidetracked. I did those before I ever did the Zorn palette. So by the time I got to the Zorn palette, it wasn't all that difficult, really. But yeah, his stuff's still really fun. He's awesome. I like Andrew Kadima a lot. Oh, allergies. Is that painting of summer from Slow Burn Studio? I don't know because I don't know who Summer is, so I can't answer that, unfortunately. I have used, what's it called? Like the pose packs before. Blonde woman with glasses looks like just like her. Uh, Blonde woman with glasses. No, I don't think so. And I mean, unless she puts some photos online that are like stock images, maybe. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, I think I know the one you're talking. Yeah, no, no, I don't think so. Like I said, unless she puts stock images of herself online, but she might have. Some people do that. It's not like unheard of. That's how I get my images, after all. Not all of them, but some. If I can, I always prefer to take my photo reference myself, but that's not always an option. So, blah, 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 Summer from Slow Burn Studios. I'll have to look her up. I'm curious. What kind of art does she do? Discovered her about a week ago. She's a figure drawings from reference packs. Um, you've seen some watercolors of her on Instagram. She seems like a really cool person. Awesome. That's cool. I'll have to look her up. It's always nice to discover new artists. The resemblance is uncanny. That's funny. We found her doppelganger, maybe. Oh, I'm just fly sometimes. Sucks. And yeah, I think there's a few spots here where I'm gonna have to go over again with some more gold leaf. Just like one or two spots, but that sucks because of how time consuming the whole process is. Oh well. I was hoping I wouldn't have to. I would just paint yellow, but like it just you can't really go from gold to yellow and really like it doesn't, you know, doesn't look the same. There's no there's no cheating the gold, unfortunately. And fortunately, I guess. None of the I've seen like the fake gold paints and stuff. Like they can be useful. I'm not gonna say that there's no point to them, but they do not come close to like real gold leaf. I'm sorry. There's just no comparison. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like, oh, gold leaf is the only thing that matters. Nah, it's not. But I've you used the actual gold leaf. Oh yeah, this is not just actual gold leaf. Um this is an even imitation gold leaf. It's real gold, so it's like 22 karat gold. Um, and the only reason is I used actual gold leaf is because the imitation gold leaf will um, oxidize over time unless you seal it. Um, but if but it's difficult because if you seal it, you can't really paint over it with oil paints. It's difficult. So I just decided to just go with genuine gold leaf because I don't have to worry about the paint oxidizing, and I can paint over it to correct the edges and do all the touch-ups I need. Um, Hats off to you. I've used gold leaf once in my life and I swore like a sailor because that stuff is so finicky. It is very finicky. That's why I'm doing all this touch-ups right now, because it would stick to places I didn't intend it to, which I am happy to accept to a degree in some areas, but there are some areas where I had a vision and I needed to, you know, follow that. Otherwise, it ruins the painting. That's why all this touch up is happening, because I, those areas I can't accept. Like the idea is to, accept the randomity of the materials and appreciate that, and that's nice and all. Um, but like the hole right here, the black, it had covered up the entire hole, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the painting if that's covered up. So I had to, go back in and paint that back. Um, and I'd let the painting dry for a long time, uh, so that so that I'd have less of that, but it still happened. So I'm looking into techniques to reduce that. But like I said, I do enjoy the randomality of things a bit, and I do want to preserve some of that. So, it's like, yeah, I want to reduce it in some areas, but preserve it in others. Like there's this gold here that's not even on the figure's body, and I'll probably leave it there because it, you know, like I think it adds to the painting, not detracts. So I'll just leave it there. But yeah, it is so finicky, and like it and I don't know if you wore the like white gloves like you're supposed to like, help it. But it's so delicate, like I couldn't even feel it through the gloves, you know. It's such a weird sensation to be holding something that you can't feel. Yeah, if you go to my YouTube, you can see my stream from Thursday if you want to see me applying it. I applied it on this one and another painting. and you can't breathe when carrying it because it flails around together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. Uh, well, I made the mistake of streaming it, so I kept talking while I was doing it, and it was working against me half the time. And I don't know what you used for it, but as far as the glue, um, I used this I was using this glue that's so I can't use water-based glue because this is oil paint. So I found solvent-based glue, and it smells. Oh my god, the fumes that were coming off of it are crazy. Like and I commented on it way too many times, I'm sure, but it smelled like I'd just opened up a can of spray paint in here. But yeah. Well, I guess I can go on for another couple minutes. I'm gonna have to call it a day very soon, unfortunately. But yeah, the only reason I could even do it on stream was because I think I did two of them. Because you have to wait like 3 hours in between. Um, well, I waited less because I think my lines are so thin that I don't think I actually need to wait 3 hours to, to become tacky. But yeah, it's crazy that it's like this whole process is, you know, it's it's so elaborate. You like have to put down the glue, wait 3 hours until it gets tacky. You can't just put down the full, the gold leaf. Like it's just, I don't know. It feels so counterintuitive. Omar Comics, hey, welcome. How you doing? Unfortunately, I have to say I'm going to be ending my stream in a couple minutes. I at the moment, um, I can only do like a very short stream on Sundays. However, hopefully my schedule is about to shift a lot in in a very positive direction, and I'll be able to do more streams and longer ones, but we'll see. Can't promise. Life is how it is sometimes. But yeah, how are you doing? I'm pretty ambidextrous compared to, I think, a lot of people. I think just because like left-handed people tend to be somewhat ambidextrous, just given how like the world is compared to some right-handed people. I'm not saying like I'm amazing or the best. There's definitely people I've seen people who draw with both hands, I'm not doing that. But I think relatively speaking. Having said that, I do wish I was one of those people because sometimes like the edge of like the brush, like which end you're using can make a huge difference. And I wish like instead of using going from this direction, I could just flip it and go from the other direction. I just do not have the coordination for that. Alrighty. Uh, Unfortunately, I have to call it a day way earlier than I would like, but I have no choice. I have to. Sorry, everyone. I can't keep going today. But yeah, I mean, I'm making decent progress. It's just unfortunately slower than I had wanted it. But yeah, drawing like Kari Pinsky, both hands at the same time would be super cool. Yeah, I don't know how they do that, but I don't have the ability to do that. But yeah, like I think if I practiced it, I'd be able to develop my right hand to that like separately. Not saying at the same time, but like if I think in theory, but like the only thing that would make me do that is like if I lost my left hand, it's like that type of thing. Because otherwise, I don't have the time or energy for that. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. I'll be back Thursday, hopefully earlier, probably not, but yeah, I'll be back Thursday. Um, have a good rest of your weekend and a good week, everybody. And yeah, dial M for art. If you feel like sharing your stuff on my Discord, happy to see what you're working on. Anyone who's watching, you're welcome to share on my Discord. Always happy to see new art. So yeah, and have a good one, everybody. My Discord link should be below. By the way, I do not have the like the command set up. Sorry, I'm not that set up. All right, bye everybody. Gotta go.